I would like to read something that's on the second book of commandments about we are not to worship the prophets. And it says, there are many organizations on the earth today that claim to have been originated through direction from God, led by charismatic men. These groups usually have one thing in common. They have made prophet or leader worship their key. This man has or had direct communication from God and represents God. Therefore, we must follow him without question. The majority group of people following this path are the Mohammedans. They worship their prophet Muhammad and will do anything possible to honor this man, even to commit murder of anyone who desecrates not God's name, but his name. They cannot understand that Muhammad was just a man, not a god. Their emphasis was a worship of him instead of the one God they believe in. We can say that the Roman Church followed the same path during the Inquisition, claiming that the Pope was God's only representative, that he had to be obeyed or you died. It resulted in millions being killed during the Middle Ages. More recently, the Branch Davidians followed the same path, making their leader infallible and eventually causing their total destruction. How many more groups of people are out there today who have a most holy and high prophet that leads them to foolishness? Shall we mention some of them? The fundamentalist Mormon groups being led by their key holder, prophets who cannot fail. Many have been led by a one mighty and strong type of man to their shame and degradation. Gradation. Sorry, I can't say it too well. One group now claims to have a key holder who is above any trial over him. Others presently living in Missouri and other places demand their followers to obey them without question, and sometimes scorn and physically abuse even those of their own family who rebel against their ideas. And you yourself can name others. Now we come to those who now have a huge following. The Roman Church still has a huge following, claiming that they alone and their Pope are the only ones who have God's direction and authority. But the one who is new on the scene, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, have done the same thing. Their members' patriarchal blessing now have a follow the prophet without question theme. They have made their prophet infallible. Anyone disagreeing this now main tenet of their church, follow the prophet, is excommunicated and in many cases persecuted, causing the individual many hardships. The reason for this is due to their belief that God would not allow their prophet to be wrong. We know that the ancient Israelite prophets and apostles had their personal faults. And likewise, we do not worship Joseph Smith Jr. He was a true prophet, yes, but he was like any other man and had many faults. You could have asked his wife Emma. You above all, please do not worship a true prophet. In doing so, you would be doing him a great disservice. If he is a true prophet, then he was chosen before he was born to be a prophet, not by man, but by God. However, he comes with all his faults and failings, and you honor him and listen to what he has to say because of its source, God. It is our responsibility to know the difference by the Spirit of God. You worship God who has chosen this person to be his spokesman, sometimes among the weak and insignificant, and not as often among the rich or famous or those holding PhDs. Every one of us has a gift given to us, and if we emphasize this gift in our lives, the Lord is pleased. If a true prophet uses his calling successfully, he will shun notoriety and point his finger to the source of his gift, which is God. Prophet worship is a sure sign of priestcraft. Do not worship prophets. It's idolatry.